fathers and grandfathers, welcome to season 2. Yes, you heard it, folks, season 2. Season 2 of being a present father and grandfather. Hey, we're kicking off this season. This is not the first episode of the season. This is just a reintroduction, folks. But let me tell you, there are some exciting things happening for this season. Season 2. We are going to kick off this season with a new co-host, folks. Yeah, it's a new co-host. So there's going to be two of us sharing these experiences, two of us interviewing folks, two of us giving you that information that you're wanting to hear. We're gonna kick this off, man. It's gonna be a wild ride. Hang on tight because season 2 is gonna take off like wild horses. All right. Let me introduce you to this. Let me reintroduce you to this podcast and what we're doing. Listen, I know it's been a while. I know it's been since December that we have posted any episode on this podcast. It's been since December since we have had any new content. So I want to just say that we're revamping, right? We're vamping up on this podcast again. So you're going to start hearing more things. You're going to start having more episodes. You're going to start having more content. So stay tuned. There's going to be some good stuff. But for right now, what I want to do is I just want to reintroduce this podcast to everyone. What is it, right? So this podcast, in reality, was something that I thought about, and it kind of started back in 2001. Okay, 2001, I attended an Effective Father seminar. Right? An effective by a gentleman. The gentleman who hosted it was named John Rain. And I tell you what, this is the book, folks. This is the book that really helped me understand my role as a father. Okay. Now, am I going to say that from 2001 to now that I was the greatest father? No. I made a lot of mistakes. And I didn't take a lot of the advice that was given in this book and in the seminars. And I tell you, I'm looking back at these kind of things and I'm thinking, we need to send this message. We need to help other fathers out there to be that presence in their children's lives, because it means so much about that. So, over the years after that seminar, I started, thinking, about it. And there were some times that I'd look back and said, man, I didn't follow some of those tenets. I didn't follow some of that advice. I could have done things differently. One of the main things was I didn't treat their mother the way that I should have. And that's an important role, man. That's an important piece of being a father and showing your children what it is to be a present father, a present parent. And that's how you treat, how much love you show for their mother, right? And it talks about, there's a story that Mr. Ream talks about in here that, he says, what happens when a little 5-year-old sees mom and dad, embrace and hug, loving hug? Huh? What does that little boy do, or the little girl do? What does that little 5-year-old do? They want to be part of it, right? They'll come and they'll climb in and hug and try to climb up them and hug them, and they want to be part of that love because they can sense that love. So, folks, this podcast is about becoming a present father and grandfather, right? When we become fathers, when we become a parent for the first time, there's no guidebook. There's nothing out there that gives us a step-by-step instruction on how to be a father. The only way that we know how to be a father is through the experiences that we experienced through whoever was in our lives as a father figure. Whether it was our real father, whether it was a stepfather, whether it was an adopted father, or whether it was an uncle, or whether it was just another man out there who took the time to take me under his wing and show me how to be a father and a man. I don't know what your story is. I don't know what kind of background you had, a relationship you had with your father. Through these podcasts, you're going to hear a lot of things about how to be a present father, the impacts that a present father has on their children, you know. And I'm sure that you have some good stories about a father or bad stories. Right? You know, this book here, I really like the way that John Green touched on a lot of things on this. You know, in his book, he talks about the crisis. You know, and it's funny because when he wrote this book, I think he wrote this book in let's see, 1997, right? But I'm going to tell you, the crisis that he talks about in this book, the crisis is probably the same today, or if not even worse, than it was back in 1997 in the late 90s. Or even those crises he talks about were actually back from the 60s, 70s, and 80s. You know, today those crises are it's still a crisis. It's still an issue, if not more so. But he talks about that, and he talks about the worthy traits of a father. And he talks about a chapter of it is called "Not Me But Thee," and it's not about me. It's about our children. It's about our family. You know, so there's a lot of things that go on in this book that I want to share and put out there and give my experiences related to those events in my life as a father, as a parent. And we'll hear that same thing from other people. So hang tight. We're in for a big ride. We are going to be kicking this podcast off, especially now that we've got a co-host. And, I can't wait. I'm excited. I'm excited about sharing this stuff. So go to our webpage. Go to the webpage of www.competentfathers.com. Now, I created that name last year, and it's funny because our co-host has a really catchy name, and it's like, oh, I wish I would have thought about that when I set this website up. But either way, we're going to see what we can do about branding that from the new name, but still linking it to this Competent Fathers website. But the website has information. It gives a general information about what it is that this podcast is about, and the purpose is to share the experiences, the insight, the guidance, on modern fatherhood and how to be present. And I keep saying that because it's so important, how to be present in our children's lives. We can be a father and not be present, and it's almost the same as even not being a father at all. Our children need us. Our children need us to provide that guidance and that love, right? Whether the child is male or female. The way that you treat the mother of the children is the way your son is going to treat his future wife. But here's the more important thing. The way you treat the mother of your children, your daughter is going to accept or believe that that's the way she can be treated by her husband. Think about that, right? So folks, I want to keep this short because this is just a video on our website. There's some other videos, there's some blogs, there's some links to our previous episodes. Go back and check them out, and get caught up on some of the things. I love the episode I've got with Santa Claus. We've got an episode where we interviewed Santa Claus. He gave us some good insight. I had an interview with my two kids, they shared some really great information that turned out to be kind of a two episode thing. But we call that the father and son plain talk. I also had an episode out there that we had an interview with a host of another podcast, another father podcast that's Fearless Fathers, and it's Dave Olander, and he shared some really great insights on this. And so go back, listen to those episodes. Got episodes on priorities, episodes on living examples. We've got an interview with a good friend of mine, Joseph Raymond, who was a retired teacher, and so he gives some really good insights. As a matter of fact, Raymond attended that seminar with me back in 2001. Right. So anyway, I hope that you tune in. I hope you go check out our website. I hope that you shoot us a comment. There's a spot on the website that you can write a comment and send us a note, or you can shoot us an email at info@competentfathers.com. That's INFO as in info, like information, at competentfathers.com. We love to hear from you. We love to hear your thoughts. We love to hear your stories, your experiences. Hey, who knows? We'll have you as a guest on here if you're in for it. Okay. So that's about all I've got. Again, we love you. We hope that you continue to tune in and hang on for a wild ride. All right. Thanks, folks.